Welcome back to the LithShop, where we got another piece of shit S13 with a 1J. So here we have a 1JZ S13 that needs a lot of work. And the work that we were supposed to do was just a body kit and a hood, spoiler, just the whole shebang. But then a half dead tree decided to join the party and land on the hood and fender of this car. And as you can see over there, I already hung the fender up and you can see the damage that it did on there. I'll post a picture on screen of the hood and the fender on the car with the tree next to it. It was really bad. So now, before we can install the new Origin Lab fenders, we need to fix this frame. Because as you can see, this is on a diagonal and that side is horizontal. So this is not supposed to be diagonal. It's all bent down, and while you saw the picture, you understand that if a tree falls on the hood and on the fender, it's gonna do some damage. So my plan is welding this flange on there, backing it up between the lift and just lifting it up on the flange and hoping that the frame will straighten out and will lift itself and be horizontal again. So let's see how that goes, and when that's done we can install the fenders and see what the fitment is like and how much work I do. Strong enough. Here goes nothing. How? I'm lifting the whole car and it doesn't even budge. I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. Oh, it did move. If those welds let go now, we're gonna have a bouncy car. To the owner, I am sincerely sorry, but I gotta do what I gotta do. If at first you don't succeed, use a second flange. Alright, let's try that again. Why are you not moving? So it did move up on the edge a little bit. It's just still dented on the top. See, that's why I did the little wire on that end of the pole, because it wants to lift, and if I did not put that little wire there, I would have been hit by the pole. I think I found my calling. Crooked S13. Alright, so now let's lower it down, cut the flanges off, clean that up, and then we can start to fit the new Origin Lab wide body kit. You know what to say about white guys? They got big pipes. body kit. So now that we got the fenders mounted, and it's not the final resting place, it's not done yet, but I got them mounted on several points and they are roughly where they should be. So now I want to put the bumper on, but previous bumper setup was some plastic screws that were just held onto the bumper with some adhesive, and on this side they kept together quite nice. On that side they did not. That one snapped when I wanted to take it off, and those two just didn't turn at all because they're plastic and the adhesive let go. So I had to break them out and get them out of there. So now we don't have any mounting for the bumper on that side. And everyone that knows a little bit about S13s, everybody that puts a body kit on doesn't use those 3 mounting points from fender to bumper. And then you get a saggy bumper or just not a good fitment, it just doesn't look good. So I'm gonna do what I did to my own car, to this bumper, and that's make 2 stainless plates with 3 stainless bolts. And I'm gonna glue those in there so that they never come loose. They are always in the right position and it's an easy mount to the fender, because then you just have to fasten the nut in the fender and it's very easy access instead of holding the bolt in the bumper side and then put the nut on. So I'm gonna make those 2 plates, mount them in the bumper, and I'll see you after that. So now that the mounting plates are made, I want to see if I can make the bumper one piece, because, well, the less lines and crevices we have, the smoother the car is going to be. So, and my bumper is also in one piece, so I don't know why the original-ish bumper is in 2 pieces, but I think I'm going to cut away the edge between the holes so I can put some fiberglass and resin over there, and same here. And then put some zip ties in the holes to keep it in place. And then once the back is fiberglassed and all one piece, we can smoothen out the outside with some Bondo to make the bumper one piece. So now the 2 side pieces are fiberglassed on there, they're stuck, they're sturdy, I think. It's just the Bondo work that we need to do on the outside, but that's for a later step, because now we need to fit the bumper to the car itself and see how the fenders fit and figure out a way how to get these mounting holes on the right spot on the fenders, because that's going to be a challenge. Let's dive right into it and see what we can make happen. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and damn right, it fits better than yours. Damn right, it fits better than... Okay. The bumper beam that's in there is in the way of the bumper going high enough to fit against the fender. So that's where we find our first problem. Because as you can see, it needs to go higher. I think I can make this fit pretty nice, but it needs to go higher and it doesn't.
It does not want to go higher. Oh, this side is the same thing.
It goes higher now.
But not high enough. Okay. Let's remove the bumper beam. Boom!
And now we arrive at the fun part of fiberglass body panels. It fits like shit. Because there at the top, the little point droops down. So I have to fix that to make it fit the bumper itself. But then when it fits to the fender, that point of the bumper is too high. And if I set it where it needs to be, pull the fender towards it so it fits. Yeah. And this side might be a little bit better when I point it up. And I only got one hand now, but this actually fits pretty good. But then you can see that fits like shit. And then if I lower it down, pull the fender towards it and make it fit like it's supposed to. So I think I'm, whoa. Huh. Acceptable. So I think I am gonna spend the foreseeable future on trying to fit these fenders to the bumper. Because it's an aftermarket fiberglass bumper, it's aftermarket fiberglass fenders that come from a pretty old mold, if you ask me. So a very easy way to know where you need to drill the holes in the new fenders is get a piece of painter's tape. If you stick it on there and you very precisely cut the outside of the bumper, you can mark the existing holes on this side. And then when you go over here, I already drilled a pilot hole, so I can go off of that, just align the top hole with this hole. But if you at the top side very precisely cut to the bumper, you can just lay it in there. And as you can see, I overlay the piece of tape on the existing hole. I make the outside line up with the new fender. And then I just used a little pick to make a little hole in the tape. I use a small point Sharpie to go through the tape, and now I have my 4 holes that I need to drill to line up the bumper with the fender. So I've been working on the fenders and the bumper and the hood for a while now, but everything is very crooked, like every S chassis ever. So this side is way too high and it's inwards a little bit because I think it once had a little accident. But if I want to fix that, the hood needs to fit nicely. And right now the hood is just a little bit too flat, so in the middle of the fenders it sinks down a little bit. So what I am gonna do, I got these little rubber screw thingies that you normally use for the hood, like here. You can use these to adjust the height of the hood, but you only have them on these 2 sides on the front of the car. And we already got these nice holes here, and I got some extras. So I'm gonna drill out this hole to be the exact diameter of the inside of the little swirl here. And I'm gonna drill a little extra hole for the little pointy bit to start screwing into. So I'm first gonna drill 2 little holes besides the big hole. I measured it out. And then I'm gonna drill the big hole bigger, and it should have a little notch that I can screw this into, and then we can raise this a little bit so the hood sits a bit higher here, lower there, follows the curve, and then I can adjust the front. So I had the body fitting pretty good already. Believe me, it was. It doesn't look like it, but it was. And that's because I have the fender over here. And to make it fit nicely, I had to shave down the point here because it was bowed in a little bit. And I have to shave down this corner here because that was a very tight radius and the hood was hitting it. I don't know if that's because it's a carbon hood and a stock steel hood would have fit. I don't know. but we have to make a fit with the carbon hood. So what I'm gonna do now, because I have to shave it down even more and it's getting pretty thin already. I'm already through here and it's really thin. So I'm gonna fill this with some fiberglass mats and some fiberglass paste to thicken it up. And then tomorrow when that dried, I can just shave it out a little bit more, because now I still have this to back my playing around with fiberglass mush. So if I don't have that, if I shave it down now, I don't have an edge to lay fiberglass to, and that's gonna make it way harder. So yeah, it sucks that I have to wait till tomorrow to finish this fender, but then at least I can finish it. And after this, I'm gonna focus on the other fender, see if that needs the same amount of work. And yeah, let's lay some fiberglass. So I currently got the fenders mounted again. I'm gonna do a test fit, but for the test fit I need to mount the bumper, and to mount the bumper I need to fix this mess. Because I don't know what happened here, the car might be a bit crooked. So they made some new mounting points for the bumper that are shifted to the left. I don't know why, but this is also very flimsy. This side is pretty good, but this side, yeah, that was just held on by the bolt of the bracket from the intercooler, and that's just only mounted over there right now. So the whole intercooler and intercooler piping was holding the bumper up at that side, because this is not mounted anymore. So I'm gonna need to make a new bracket for the full bumper, and I think I'm gonna use the bracket from the intercooler, because we're on a little bit of a budget here. I want to make this better. I want to make it look like my own intercooler bracket, and if you want to see that, you can check out the video linked in the description. But I do need to fix this, because this is not gonna work. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do here, and I'll show you guys when I'm done with it. So fast forward a day or two, I don't know, I spent a lot of time in the front end of the car, and I'm gonna show you in a second. I am quite happy with how it sits right now. I've been working with 3 different parties of crooked parts, and I try to make it work. I think I kind of managed to make it work. It doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty good considering the condition of all the parts. And I could easily spend 50 more hours in the front end of the car to get it perfect, but first of all, there is no budget to do that. Second of all, there is no time to do that. And third of all, it's good enough. When it's painted the color it's gonna be, which is gonna be in the next video, you'll see that the fitment of the body doesn't matter that much. It is pretty good. Let me show you. So the gapping on the door is pretty good. Don't mind the bottom part, because it still needs a second screw, and that's going to pull it in very nice to make it all even. And then we got the body line of the hood and the fender, which is not too bad for a fiberglass fender. A carbon hood that's aftermarket from different companies, so I'm quite happy with that line. The headlights were a real bitch to do because you can see that the point of the hood comes inwards on this side, so I had to work with that. Tried to get the hood in the middle of the bumper and then adjust the headlights. So this is pretty nice, but also this line, it just comes in a bit here on the hood itself. So there's not much I can do about it, but I still think that it's pretty nice. And the gapping on the fender is good, the gapping on the bumper is good. The bumper fits very nice to the fender on this side. So then we go to the other side, and this is the problem fender. The fitment here isn't too great. You see a little gap here. That's not going to be as noticeable in the new color, because now it's different colors, it's going to be noticeable. And the point is a bit smaller because I had to sand away a lot of the fender on the underside here to make the bumper fit. And the rest of the fitment is pretty good on this side. Also the door gapping is pretty good. The hood gap is pretty good. And then the headlight itself, same here, comes in a bit here, so that's a bit close, but this line is way better. As you can see, the bumper line to the hood is a bit close here, but I still need to make a new intercooler bracket. And that intercooler bracket is going to pull down the bumper a little bit on this side. And as you can see, if you look at the gap, that opens it up pretty nice and makes it even. So that should be good. And then the only thing that is an issue that we're not going to address, because that's going to be way more work than you would expect. If we come down, the headlight just sits a bit higher than the fender itself. But that's because I had to raise the headlight to make it fit with the hood, because the hood also comes up here on this side. And I already made those little rubber twisty things, and that gets the hood up over there, otherwise it would sink into the fender. It would be way lower than the fender. So we kind of have to accept this, and that's because I called the owner. And the owner immediately said the headlights are going to be sleepy eyes 9 out of 10 times anyway. And the 10th time they're going to be up all the way and turn on. So they're never going to be shut. They're never going to be closed. It's always going to have sleepy eyes. So the headlight to fender height doesn't really matter. It's going to be good enough. So that's the front. Now we move on to the rear. So now I got roughly a full day to mount these fenders on the rear, because the fenders and bumper are going to be picked up in 2 days to be painted, and then I have the car for another week. So I can mount the fenders, make sure they fit, and then I can do all the cutting and welding once they are picked up. And then once the fenders and bumper are picked up, I'm gonna remove the engine as well. I'm gonna freshen that up once the car is gone. I got another week for that. So now today I'm gonna be in a rush. I don't know how much I'm gonna film. I'm gonna update you guys in between, but it's probably not gonna be a lot, because I have to mount these today and I don't know if they fit right. I still don't know. I do think I'm gonna have to cut the fender to make them fit right. So I might just have to do that. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna mark them up, see if I have to cut. If I have to cut, I'm gonna cut already. If I don't have to cut, I'm gonna wait with that. But let's just see how they fit.
A few minutes later.
I got the rear fender all mocked up now. I got the Clico clips in. Now I got my lines that I need to cut to make it fit even better. Also on the back side I need to cut a little bit. And I can put it back, drill the other holes. And then this side should actually be done-ish.
And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Fenders are finally finished. Last step was these little brackets. I epoxy / fiberglass them in there, so when they glue the panels on, they can put a big blob of glue here and then just clamp it to the fender so it's nice and snug and it stays on there, because you can't really rivet this because it sticks out. So all four corners have the little brackets. I finished the gas cap hole because that was a lot of work, and I cut the arches so she can have a nice fitment. And before I cut the arches, I put some fiberglass goo in there so it's nice and strong. So both fenders are finally done now. And now they can be picked up by the owner, and she can prep them and paint them at her workplace. And in the meantime, while she does the fenders, I got a week to pull the engine, finish the engine bay and cut the rear fenders, because I still haven't done that. But we were on a deadline for the fenders, for the rear and front fenders, for the bumper and stuff like that. So that's all fitted, that all fits. It's all done, so they can be picked up. And then next step for me is cutting the fenders, welding the fenders, pulling the engine, fixing the engine bay, and then the car getting it picked up. And then when the car is picked up, I can... Still a lot of work. It's getting there, and I'm actually kind of proud of fitment and everything like that. So let's clean these fenders so she can pick them up. And the next step, cutting and welding.
Wastelands through the highways, and on we'll
The next morning.
Alright, so now that the rear fenders are cut, welded the folding way, not the slit way, and their seam sealer on the edge that you saw me very satisfactorily pulling it off and putting it on. Different order. Putting it on, pulling it off. Those are done. And now it's time to mount the new spoiler, the 326 Power Wing, and not the stock Type X. That's way too narrow for the wide body. So she got a 326 Power Wing, a real one. And we need to mount it on the trunk. And to mount it on the trunk, we need to get rid of the original Type X wing holes, and we need to make some new holes. And I found a very easy way to get that done. So over here I measured the middle of the trunk from side to side, So this is the exact middle. And then over here I made a template with painter's tape, and I also measured out the exact middle over there. So that little line is the exact middle of the spoiler. And I got my 4 holes that I need to drill, and I just made sure that I cut it around, just I don't know, I don't really need that, but for visual reasons, so I can look with my eye if it's really centered and everything like that. So I'm just gonna measure out the back of that to the end of the trunk, align the middle, and then it actually should be centered straight and good. Then I can drill the holes, and I can fill the hole for the rear wiper, because she wants a rear wiper delete and she doesn't want a plug on there. We need to paint it anyway, so I'm just gonna weld it shut. And that trunk is in bad shape already, so it needs some work, so welding is just a better way to go. So let's mount some new holes. Let's mount some new holes. Let's drill the wing. Where am I going with this? Let's drill some new holes and then mount the new wing on there, and then the trunk is done.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So my camera died very conveniently when I was drilling the holes, but the holes are drilled and I hope they are in a good spot, because there are 8 holes. So to test fit it, I also mounted some studs in the spoiler, because it's way easier to get a nut on the stud inside of the trunk than get 4 bolts inside the holes and don't cross thread them. So I use studs, that's way easier to align and stuff like that. So let's test fit the spoiler. And if it sits, it fits. I'd say that fits. Yeah. All right. We got a mounted spoiler, boys. Okay, so now it's time to pull the engine, because the chassis needs to go to the painter without the engine, because they're also going to paint the engine bay. And I also need to clean up the engine bay and weld some stuff in the engine bay, and it's going to be picked up Saturday, and it is currently Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday, so... Why are you tripping? Why are you tripping? As I was saying, the engine needs to come out, and it's going to be a hard time with all the fluids in there. So first we're going to flush all the fluids, drain everything out of there so it's all as dry as possible, and then let's just pull this engine out, I guess. It's not that hard, so let's get shit going. I need to pee.
What happened here?
I need to go to the toilet, I was too late. Oops.
Let's see how this goes. Back a little bit, yeah, pump it. Not bad. Pump it some more. Stop it right there. This is the heavy part. No, pump it some more. I'm not gonna lift that. Oh wait, why pump it? Cars on my lift. Oh, big brain! I can be very smart if I choose to be.
Can.
Can. Alright, open. Yep. And there it is. A very leaky non-VVTi 1JZ.
Making dirty sounds.
Duties.
So proud of himself.
So, in the last shot you saw us take out the engine, the 1JZ that's leaking all over the goddamn place. And the evidence is right here. It's all very dusty and grimy and oily and dirty, and yeah, there's a lot of work in there. So, it's currently Friday, the car gets picked up Sunday. I still need to empty the whole engine bay. I need to weld a hole in the hatch. That's it, that's the word. I need to hold a weld. I need to hold a weld in the hatch. And I need to empty the whole engine bay and fix some little pieces here and there that just don't look too good. So let's, I guess, just use some YouTube magic to make my life easier. Yeah, I was afraid it wouldn't work. Alright, let's put in the time. Cut!
Maybe the magic would work now.
So I spent most of yesterday, actually until nighttime, cleaning out the engine bay. Well, not cleaning out, removing everything that was in the engine bay. Now it is time to clean the engine bay, because it's dirty as hell. And I need to do some welding, I need to do some work in the engine bay before it gets picked up for paint tomorrow. So let's just first clean out all the gunk and get it ready to do some welding. And yeah, I think that's about it. Just cleaning. It's very bad. There's sand and oil and grime and dirt everywhere. It's very bad. It's dirty. Let's clean it up. Will be back though. That oil smells bad. That's some bad oil. It stinks. I ain't no scheming god. And that was more like a big dinosaur bird. What you looking at? Get out of my face. Woman, get away. Vroom, vroom, vroom.